The old graveyard stood silent. Dark shadows loomed. The moon hung high. Its pale light bathed the weathered tombstones. The air was still. Not a leaf stirred. A light mist clung to the ground. It softened the edges of the world. A lone figure drifted through the mist, a ghost, pale and lost. He moved slowly, a wisp of sorrow. His eyes, like faded embers, reflected the moonlight. He paused beside a crumbling headstone. He reached out a hand. His touch passed through the cold stone. Sadness washed over him. He did not belong. The night was silent, save for the whisper of the wind through the ancient trees. The ghost's memories were a blur, fragments of a life long gone. He wandered these grounds night after night, searching for something he could no longer remember. The graveyard was his prison, a place where time stood still. Each headstone told a story, but none were his. He was a stranger in this place, a relic of a forgotten past. The moon cast a silver glow, illuminating the mist that swirled around him. He felt a pang of longing, a desire to be seen, to be remembered. But the living world was beyond his reach. He was a shadow, a fleeting glimpse in the corner of an eye. As dawn approached, the ghost retreated to the shadows, waiting for the night to fall once more. His existence was a cycle of endless nights, a solitary soul adrift in a sea of memories. He continued his journey. Each step echoed softly in the silence. The names on the graves whispered to him, stories of lives lived and lost. He felt a kinship with these silent souls. They too understood loneliness. They too knew the pain of being forgotten. He wasn't alone in his sadness. As he wandered deeper into the graveyard, the moonlight cast long shadows that danced eerily among the tombstones. The air was thick with the scent of damp earth and decaying leaves. He paused by an ancient oak tree, its gnarled branches reaching out like skeletal fingers. The whispers grew louder, more insistent, as if the spirits were eager to share their tales. He closed his eyes, letting the voices wash over him. Each whisper was a fragment of a story, a piece of a puzzle that painted a picture of a time long gone. He could almost see the faces of those who once walked the earth, their joys and sorrows etched into the fabric of time. The connection he felt was profound, a bridge between the living and the dead. In that moment he realized that the past was never truly gone. It lived on in the memories and whispers of those who came before. The ghost looked up. The moon hung above him, a beacon in the darkness. It bathed the graveyard in its soft light. He felt a warmth spread through him. The moonlight felt like a comforting embrace. It soothed his sorrow, eased his loneliness. He closed his eyes, basking in its warmth. The night was silent, save for the whisper of the wind through the trees. The stars twinkled like distant memories, each one a reminder of a life once lived. The ghost, though bound to this earthly realm, found solace in the celestial glow. It was as if the moon itself understood his pain, offering a gentle reprieve from his eternal vigil. The gravestones around him stood as silent sentinels, witnesses to his nightly ritual. He often wondered if the living ever felt this kind of peace, this quiet acceptance. The moonlight, so pure and unwavering, seemed to promise that he was not alone. In that moment, the ghost felt a connection to something greater, something beyond the confines of his spectral existence. He lingered in the moon's embrace, letting it wash over him, cleansing his spirit. The night, though dark, was filled with a serene beauty, a reminder that even in death there could be moments of grace. He stood there for a long time. The world faded away. There was only the silence and the moon. He was lost, but he was no longer afraid. He had found solace in the moonlight. He had found peace in the silence. He was home.